Hello, and welcome back to Speak English Daily.
Hi, everyone. We are very happy to see you here today.
Most people think maturity comes with age, but if that were true, everyone would be calm, patient, and in control. The truth is very different. Maturity is a skill, and most people never develop it. That sounds serious, and also very real, because many people think they are mature just because they are getting older. That is the first mistake. Growing older is automatic. Becoming mature is a choice, and most people never make that choice. They react to everything. They expect too much. They trust the wrong people. They speak without thinking. And when things go wrong, they blame others. I think many people will relate to that. Sometimes we don't even notice our own behavior. True, and that is why today we are going to explore something very powerful, the 6 laws of maturity. These are not just ideas, these are principles that can help you stay calm in difficult situations, focused in a noisy world, and strong when things don't go your way. And at the same time, you are improving your English because you are listening to real ideas in simple language. Yes, so stay with us because one of these laws might be the thing you need right now. Let's start with the first one. Control yourself, not others. That sounds simple, but I already feel it is not easy. It is not easy. In fact, this is one of the hardest things to practice. From childhood, we learn to control people. We try to change others. We think, if they understand me, I will be happy. If they behave better, my life will improve. But in reality, people don't change just because we want them to. Exactly. People have their own thoughts, their own emotions, and their own way of seeing the world. No matter how much you explain or argue, you cannot fully control another person. So what should we do instead? Focus on controlling yourself. That is where maturity begins. Let's take a simple example. Someone says something rude to you. What happens first? You feel angry, you want to respond immediately. Yes, your heart beats faster, your mind starts creating arguments, you want to prove yourself right, but in that moment you have a choice, react or control yourself. Most people react, and later they regret it. They say things they don't mean, they damage relationships, but a mature person pauses, they take a breath, they think before speaking. So the situation is not the real problem, the reaction is. That is the key point. The words are just words. Your reaction gives them power. If you react emotionally, those words hurt you more. If you stay calm, they lose their impact. That changes the whole perspective. It does. When you understand that you cannot control what happens, but you can control how you respond, your life becomes simpler. You stop taking everything personally, you stop wasting energy on small arguments. And you start choosing your response. Yes, sometimes you speak, sometimes you stay silent, sometimes you walk away, not because you are weak, but because you are in control. I like that. Control gives strength. And it's not just about emotions, it's also about your daily habits. For example, you know you should practice English, but your mind says, do it later. That happens a lot. Again, you have 2 choices, follow your feelings or control your mind. Most people follow what feels easy. They delay, they stay comfortable, and that's why they don't grow. So maturity means doing what is necessary even when you don't feel like it. Exactly. You wake up when you don't want to, you practice when you feel lazy, you stay disciplined even when no one is watching. That is real control. And that builds your future. Yes, because your daily actions create your future, and your actions are controlled by your mind. So when you control your mind, you control your life. That is powerful. Also, when you try to control others, you lose energy. You feel frustrated. But when you control yourself, you save energy. You stay focused. You grow faster. So the message is simple. Stop trying to change people. Start working on yourself. Exactly. Control your thoughts, control your emotions, control your actions. That is the only thing you truly have power over. And when you master that, your life becomes calmer, clearer, and stronger. Yes, and people respect those who are in control of themselves, not those who try to control others. That makes sense. So what is the third law? Law 2. Expect nothing, appreciate everything. That sounds simple, but I feel this one is very deep. It is, and if you truly understand this, you can remove a lot of pain from your life. Most people are not unhappy because life is bad. They are unhappy because their expectations are too high. They expect people to behave in a certain way. Yes, they expect respect, support, attention, loyalty, and when they don't get it, they feel hurt and disappointed. But the other person may not even know about these expectations. That is the problem. Expectation is like a silent agreement in your mind. You believe they should understand you, but they never promised anything. So when they don't meet that expectation, it feels like betrayal. Exactly, and that creates pain. But maturity teaches a different approach. Stop expecting, start appreciating. How does that change things? When you expect nothing, you become emotionally free. You don't depend on others for your happiness, and whatever you receive feels like a gift. So if someone helps you, you feel grateful, and if they won't, you are still okay. Yes, that's real strength. You still care, you still give your best, but you don't attach expectations to it. That creates balance. It does. Let me give you an example. If you expect a friend to message you every day and one day they don't, you feel ignored, even if they are busy or tired. Yes, but if you expect nothing and they message you, you feel happy. Same situation, different mindset, different feeling. So expectation changes how we feel about the same event. Exactly. Now, let's talk about appreciation. It's more than saying thank you. It's a way of living. You notice small good things. You value what you already have, instead of always focusing on what is missing. Yes, many people always want more success, more attention, more validation, and because of that, they never feel satisfied. But appreciation creates happiness from inside. Exactly. You feel grateful for simple things, a peaceful day, a kind message, a small improvement, and that keeps your mind stable. But does expecting nothing mean accepting bad behavior? No, it does not mean you accept disrespect. You still have standards, you still set boundaries, you still walk away from toxic people. But you don't expect them to change. Yes, you choose better for yourself instead of waiting for others to improve. That is a strong mindset. Now, apply this to your daily life. When you help someone, don't expect anything in return. When you work hard, don't expect instant results. Just focus on your effort. Yes, and let life respond in its own time. When you give without expectation, you feel light, and when something good comes back, it feels even better. How does this connect to learning English? Many people expect fast results. They want to speak perfectly in a short time, and when that doesn't happen, they feel frustrated. I have seen that a lot. Instead, appreciate your progress. Every new word, every sentence, every mistake you correct. Growth is slow, but it is happening. So expectation creates pressure, but appreciation creates peace. Exactly. Expectation makes you dependent. Appreciation makes you strong. So from today, stop expecting from people and situations. Start appreciating what you have. And that's real maturity. Now, let's move to the third law. Do your best and trust the process. This is one of the deepest ideas because it's not about feeling motivated. It's about staying consistent even when you don't see results. I think this is where most people struggle. They start strong, but they don't continue. That's true. People begin with excitement. They make plans, they set goals, but after a few days, when results are not visible, they start doubting themselves. They think, maybe this is not working. Maybe I am wasting my time.
And then they stop.
Yes, not because they are not capable, but because they don't trust the process. A mature person understands something very simple. Results take time. Growth is often slow and silent.
Can you explain that with an example?
Imagine you go to the gym for the first time. On day 1, you don't see any change. After a few days, still no visible result. If you look in the mirror every day, you may feel nothing is happening.
But inside the body, something is changing.
Yes, your muscles are getting stronger, your endurance is improving, your body is adapting, but you cannot see it immediately. And if you quit early, you stop the progress before it becomes visible.
That sounds very similar to learning English.
It is the same process. You practice daily, you learn new words, you make mistakes, but you may feel stuck, you may feel slow. Still, something is improving inside your mind.
So the key is to keep going even when you don't see results.
Yes. Now let's talk about effort. Doing your best does not mean being perfect. It means giving honest effort every day. Even on days when you feel tired, even on days when you don't feel like doing anything.
That is where discipline comes in.
Right. Motivation changes. Some days you feel excited, some days you feel low, but discipline keeps you moving. Discipline means you do what is needed even when you don't feel like doing it.
Like waking up early when your mind says sleep more.
Yes, or practicing English when your mind says do it later. These small decisions shape your future. If you follow your feelings, you stay comfortable. If you follow discipline, you grow.
So success is not about big actions, it is about small actions done daily.
That is the point. One day at a time, one step at a time. Now let's talk about something important. Many people focus only on results. They keep asking, when will I succeed?
And that creates pressure.
Yes, it creates stress and frustration. But when you focus on effort, you feel more in control because effort is in your hands. Results are not always in your hands.
So the better question is, did I give my best today?
That question changes your mindset. If you win your day, you slowly win your life. Even when progress is slow, you are moving forward.
And over time, all those small efforts create big change.
Yes. One day you look back and realize you have improved a lot, but it happened slowly, step by step. That is why trusting the process is so important.
And this requires patience.
It does. There will be days when you feel like nothing is working, days when you compare yourself to others, days when you feel behind. But in those moments, this law will guide you. Do your best, trust the process, keep going.
Because success is not for the fastest person, it is for the person who does not stop.
Well said. Now let's move to the 5th law. Learn to react less.
This one sounds simple, but I feel this is something people struggle with daily.
Very true. In today's world, people react to everything. Every message, every comment, every opinion. Someone says something, and the reaction is immediate.
No pause, no thinking.
Yes, reaction is fast and emotional. Response is calm and controlled. Most people live in reaction. They don't stop to think.
And then they regret what they said or did.
That happens often. Think about it. How many times have you reacted in anger and later wished you stayed quiet?
Many times.
This is what happens when you react too quickly. You lose control. You say things you don't mean. You create problems that were not even necessary.
So what does maturity teach here?
Not everything deserves your reaction. Some things need silence. Some things need patience. Some things should be ignored.
That saves a lot of energy.
Yes, when you react to everything, your mind becomes tired. You feel stressed. But when you react less, you stay calm. You focus on what really matters.
So it is about choosing your reactions.
That is the idea. You don't react automatically. You respond with awareness. For example, if someone says something negative, you pause and ask yourself, is this worth my energy?
And many times the answer is no.
Yes, and that small pause makes a big difference. Let's talk about that pause. It's a simple technique, but very powerful.
What should someone do in that moment?
When something triggers you, don't speak immediately. Take a breath, give yourself a few seconds. Think before you respond.
That creates space between emotion and action.
Yes, and in that space, you regain control. You can ask yourself, will this matter tomorrow? Is this worth my peace?
That changes your response completely.
It does. You still feel emotions, anger, frustration, sadness. These are natural, but you don't act on every emotion. You stay in control.
That is real strength.
Yes, and people who react less are often respected more. They don't create drama. They don't speak unnecessarily. They appear calm and stable.
People trust them more.
Because they know this person will not react without thinking. This person is balanced. So from today, practice this. Don't react to everything. Choose when to speak and when to stay silent.
Because your peace is more important than proving a point.
Now let's move to the fifth law. Stop telling people everything.
This one might surprise a lot of people because many believe sharing everything is a good thing.
That's the common belief. People think being open means being confident. They think talking about their plans will help them stay motivated. But maturity teaches something different. Not everything needs to be shared.
So it's not about hiding, it's about being selective.
Yes, being aware of what to share and with whom. Because every time you tell someone your plans, you invite their opinions.
And not all opinions are helpful.
That's the problem. Some people will support you, but others may doubt you. Some may question you. Some may even discourage you without realizing it.
And those words can affect your mindset.
Very easily. You may start with confidence, but after hearing negative opinions, you begin to doubt yourself. You start thinking, maybe I can't do this. Maybe this is too difficult.
So sharing too much can actually slow you down.
Yes, that is why mature people move differently. They don't announce everything. They don't explain every step. They focus on their work, and they let results speak.
That creates a stronger impact.
It does. Let me explain with a simple example. Imagine you are working on a goal. If you keep talking about it every day, you feel like you are making progress.
But in reality, you are only talking, not doing.
Yes, it creates a false sense of achievement. You feel satisfied without actually moving forward. But when you stay silent, you feel the need to act.
So silence pushes you to work more.
Exactly. You focus better. You think more clearly. You use your time and energy for action instead of explanation.
That connects with energy, right?
Very strongly. Every time you explain your plans, you use mental energy. Every time you defend your ideas, you lose focus. And when your energy is scattered, your progress slows.
But when you stay silent, you protect your energy.
Yes, you use that energy for your growth, for your practice, for improving yourself. And that makes a big difference over time.
There is also another side to this. Not everyone around us wants to see us succeed.
That is a difficult truth, but it exists. Some people may smile in front of you, but feel uncomfortable when you grow. Some may not support your goals.
So sharing everything with everyone is risky.
That's why maturity teaches you to be careful. You don't give full access to your thoughts and plans to everyone. You choose wisely. But this does not mean you stop communicating. Not at all. You still share, but with the right people. People who understand you. People who support your growth. People who genuinely care.
So it's about quality, not quantity.
Yes. Now, let's connect this with speaking less. When you talk less, your words become more valuable.
People listen more when you speak.
That's right. When you only speak when needed, your words carry weight. But when you talk too much, people stop paying attention.
Your message loses strength.
And your energy gets scattered. So learning to speak less is not weakness. It is focus. It is control. It is discipline.
I like that idea. Speak less, but with purpose.
That's the goal. Now think about your daily life. If you are learning English, you don't need to keep telling everyone what you will do.
Instead, you practice quietly.
Yes, you speak daily. You make mistakes. You improve step by step. And one day, people notice your progress without you saying anything.
That feels more powerful.
Because it is real progress, not just words. So from today, don't feel the need to explain everything. Don't seek validation from everyone.
Focus on your actions instead.
Yes, protect your energy, protect your plans, move with clarity, and let your results speak for you.
That is a strong way to live.
Let's discuss the sixth law, which is choose your friends wisely.
This feels very important because the people around us affect us more than we realize.
They do. Your life is not shaped only by your decisions. It is also shaped by your environment, the people you talk to, the people you spend time with, the people you listen to every day.
And slowly, we start becoming like them.
Yes, their mindset influences your mindset. Their habits influence your habits. Their way of thinking becomes your way of thinking, often without you noticing it.
So if your circle is negative, it will affect you.
It will. If your friends complain all the time, you start complaining. If they are lazy, you slowly lose discipline. If they have no goals, you begin to lose direction.
And this happens slowly, not suddenly.
That is what makes it dangerous. You don't notice the change at first, but over time, it shapes your life.
What about the opposite?
The opposite is powerful. If your circle is focused, you become focused. If your friends are disciplined, you become disciplined. If they talk about growth, you start thinking about growth.
So energy spreads.
Yes, mindset spreads, habits spread. That is why your circle plays a big role in your future.
But many people choose friends based on comfort.
That is a common mistake. People choose those who are easy to talk to, who agree with them, who make them feel relaxed. But maturity teaches something different.
Choose people who help you grow.
Yes, comfort can keep you in the same place. Growth moves you forward. So you need to be careful. Not everyone who is close to you is good for you.
That can be difficult to accept.
It is. Sometimes people stay in your life because they're old friends, or because you feel attached, or because you're afraid to be alone.
But staying in the wrong environment can slow you down.
More than slow you down, it can damage your confidence. It can reduce your motivation. It can take you away from your goals.
So what should someone do?
Become aware. Observe the people around you. Notice how they affect your thinking, your energy, your actions, and then make better choices.
What should we look for in good friends?
Choose people who respect your time. Choose people who respect your goals. Choose people who support your growth. Choose people who are honest with you.
And avoid those who distract you or pull you down.
Yes, your time is your life, and who you spend it with decides what your life becomes.
There's also the fear of being alone.
Many people stay in the wrong circle because they don't want to feel lonely, but being alone is better than being with the wrong people.
Because when you're alone, you have space to think.
You have peace, you have clarity, you can focus on your growth, and when you grow, you naturally attract better people into your life.
So being alone for some time is not a weakness.
It is a sign of strength. Now, let's connect this with learning English. Your environment matters here too.
If people around you don't care about learning, you may lose interest.
Yes, and if they make fun of your mistakes, you may stop speaking. But if you're around people who are also learning, also practicing, also improving, you feel encouraged.
Even online communities can help.
Of course, your environment is not only physical, it is also digital. What you watch, what you listen to, who you follow. All of this shapes your thinking.
So we need to choose our environment carefully.
Yes, and one more important point. Mature people don't try to have many friends. They focus on having the right friends.
Quality matters more than quantity.
Always. One person who supports you and helps you grow is more valuable than many who distract you.
That really changes how we look at relationships.
It does. Now let's take a moment and bring everything together. Today, we talked about 6 laws of maturity.
Control yourself, not others.
Expect nothing, appreciate everything.
Do your best and trust the process.
Learn to react less.
Stop telling people everything.
And choose your friends wisely.
These are simple ideas, but powerful when applied.
Yes, your life does not change just by listening. It changes when you practice these ideas daily. Start small. Focus on one step at a time.
And slowly, you will notice the difference.
You will stay calm where others lose control. You will think clearly where others feel confused. You will move forward while others stay stuck.
That is the power of maturity.
And while you're listening, you're also improving your English. You're learning to understand ideas in simple language, and that helps you speak with confidence.
So if you want to grow in life and improve your English at the same time, stay connected with Speak English Daily.
Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep moving forward.
We will see you in the next episode.